Welcome to Morgan Talks, or Monday Talks with Morgan. Ah, at some point, I'll figure that out. Happy Monday. Okay, here's my special guest. Let me see if I can get her to join. I'm so excited about this. Boop, boop, boop. That work? Hi, Michelle. Hmm. There we go.
Hey,
Good morning.
good morning.
I swear, I every so like this 8 o'clock, I'm like, I'm a morning person. But if I have to get up for something, then I like rebel and I'm like, I can't do this. It's too early. It's just so funny. I'm like, if I didn't have this, I'd be up at like 6 anyway. So I don't know.
Yeah, doesn't
I don't know
matter.
why it's like, oh, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Hi, everyone. It's so cool to see
Hello.
everyone joining. Um, well, welcome, Paloma. Thank you for joining me today.
Of course. I mean, when when someone offers at 8 a.m. a live call, I'm like, I'm all about it.
It's like let's just do this, let's just rip the band-aid off. I was like, I don't know who I am at 8 a.m., so this is gonna
I'm
be
like
fun.
8 a.m. Sure, I have nothing going on.
Right? It's like you can't tell me you have something going on. Oh, someone said I can't wait for my tattoo in November. Yay! I'm sure it's gonna be
Oh,
beautiful.
awesome.
So, um, to anyone who doesn't know, Paloma is an amazing tattoo artist. Her handles Enter the Rabbit Hole if you want to check out her work. And yeah, I'm just so blessed to know you. We met at the Radical Birthkeeper School, and we've been friends ever since. She's my study buddy, and yeah. And so today, we're going to talk about like the difficulties of entrepreneurship, the things that like no one tells you, and especially I think to like that feeling. It's like I don't know if anyone knows the scene, but there's this scene in Sex in the City where Charlotte, it's like the last season, and she comes to breakfast, no makeup, and just like so upset. And she's like, "Where is he? Where is he?" And of course, she's talking about her partner or her husband that she wants to, manifest. But that's how I feel sometimes in my business. Like that to me is like the best representation of just desperation. And of course, like once we're in that space, we're not in like abundance or we're not in overflow, as Amanda Francis says. And it's like, it's so frustrating, And I think that very many people, it's really not the starting that gets them in trouble, it's that they don't keep going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, what are some of your thoughts? Like, what are some of the things you've seen that you're just like, or felt?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I've seen plenty of, I've been in this business for 10 years. I can't say that I've been the longest in the business. I mean, there's people that I admire and you know, I'm friends with as well that they have been 25, 30 years in the industry. And but having conversations even with them, I can bring that up as well. And it's a very relative experience too, is the actual fact that um, people give in too quickly because they want results too fast.
Mm,
Um, and that's like, and that goes in all fields, right? Like I can attest with tattooing because it's what I know the most. And but I hear so many people that they just, even my experience with people that I had taken under my wing and guide them that have been less time with, tattooing and stuff. And that's always the case of like, why am I not busy? Why am I not getting the people that I want to get? Why? And I'm like, it's been 3 years. Like building a business, it takes time. It takes so much time and so much patience through the process
mm,
because as you building this new foundation. You're building this foundation that you don't know much about, right?
Yeah.
You're discovering yourself as well. So like you're in this like inconsistent wave of like discovering yourself as you build this solid foundation, and people are starting to feel you about who you are and who are you becoming inside this business. So I feel
Yeah, I
that's a
really
lot of
love
it.
the analogy of that foundation, because without it, in a way, we can actually get into a lot of trouble. I mean, that's what happens when people go viral. Everyone's like, "Oh, I want to go viral." And of course that is really cool. But if you're not ready for what that entails, it can be the end, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people who have a ton of followers. Like I know clients who have way more followers than me, like literally in the thousands. And you know, they're like, well, I just don't know if anyone's gonna want this. And I'm like, but you have 15,000 people connected to your channel. How can like one of those people not want this or need
Mm-hmm.
this in some cases, you know? And so it's really important, I think, to honor that foundation, that ability to be able to handle it all. Because, you know, for example, for me, manifesting money is pretty easy. It's holding it that I've, you know, really had to do so much work on, and I'm still working on, you know, is like not spending it all. And or just like is spending it in an aligned way, you know, with my you know, at this level that I am now. Like Danielle Page, she's an astrologer that I follow. She was like, look, if you can't afford the thing, that's fine. But like, are you spending like, you know, $100 going out and drinking with your friends? Because then maybe you could, you know what I mean? So she's like, you kind of have to pick sometimes who it is you're going to be with your money. And I was like, wow. You know, I think that that's really a big struggle, is all of a sudden you're not getting this like steady paycheck. And it's like, who am I not getting a steady
Mm-hmm.
paycheck?
Yeah,
How is that for
absolutely.
you? Like that transition?
Oh, as you were speaking, it was coming so much to my mind. And this comes actually like shout out to my financial advisor, Ryan Roy. Joe should follow him. He's amazing. He told me that, energy, money is a state of, it's a flow of energy, right? And I did share
Mhm.
this before with you. And like the issue is not spending the money, because money has to come out. You can't
Mhm.
withhold money when you're creating a business, or you're like, in general, right? You can't just
Yeah,
work and not uh, put that money out, because it's not flowing. Because if
totally.
you're withholding, right, you're not gonna have that effort to regain more, right? Because you're
Mhm.
like, I'm good, or whatever it is. So you have to take it out. But like, where are these ways that you're taking it out? Where are you putting this money that you want to influence that back to you, right? I mean, no judgment whatsoever. I don't drink anymore. I don't do drugs either, or anything like that, because of that foundation of like,
Mhm.
do I want to put this money to what this is giving me back, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
It,
That's
you know,
actually, I recommend to entrepreneurs to do a period of time without alcohol,
hmm
because I think it's, or drugs or whatever it is that they love, because it is such a a financial change. Like, you
hmm
know, I know, I know this is crazy, but I feel like especially for men, because men first of all need more alcohol to get drunk usually, and they like, you know, they'll pay for drinks for other people and stuff. And I feel that, you know, when you say, oh my God, I'm not spending like $500. Like I remember in college, all these people who were like broke, they would tell me, oh, I'm broke. I'm totally
hmm
broke. I don't have money for this or that. And then we go to the bar and their bill was $250. And I'm
yeah.
like, wait, but how are you paying for that? And they're like, oh,
I
I'm broke. I have $250 for this bill, but that's it. And you're like, oh my God, you
I
could have
hear it all
put
the
that
time.
into like, yeah, that's
I
like
hear it all the
halfway to
time.
unleash the power within. Like,
Yeah.
you go to a Tony Robbins course with that, you know?
I hear it all the time. I hear with peers and tattoo and and like conventions. I mean, you travel from another state to make income, to put your name out there, and you blow your money in like a day. I mean, we're talking about, in a convention, you can make easy $1,000 or more. So it's like, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I hear it all the time when it comes to businesses or like building your business. Like, it's like, hey, I'm so interested in building my business, but I don't know how. But you go and drink $300 worth or $400 worth in a party or something. I'm like, those $400 you could have made flyers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like where that energy of money exchange you're putting in, right?
Mhm.
Especially when you're starting your business. It's like it's so foundational. It's so important to put 100% of your energy and your efforts to it if you want to have the ripple effects, have the success. I like what's it called? Take the
Like
like in the
reap the
long run.
reward.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I hear a lot of times it's like, wow, you're 30, you have your own business and so on. It's like, yeah, I spent 10 years of my
Yeah.
career just doing that.
Yeah.
And and yeah, I hear plenty of times. And even people who are successful too as well, they just, you know, have the success at the right time and the right era, and they don't do it the right way. They don't spend the money where it belongs to sustain that foundation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And also like to also invest in yourself, like
Mm-hmm.
um invest in, like I had this like pretty intense wake up call. I actually wrote about it yesterday, but like I was like, I can't keep doing social media at the level that I want to do it at alone. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I just can't keep up this work. And, my Instagram account, I've realized it's kind of my creative outlet. It's not just my place for me to, I don't know, someone always said like, think of your social media as like you're opening the doors to your store, every morning. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a great way to put it. And it's like my store, but it's also my creative store. And I really love like expressing myself on on this platform. But I couldn't do it alone anymore. And I was like, I really need help. I really need support. And I probably waited too long to get that support. But for me right now, it was like one of the most expanding things to put, the money I'm making into someone else, into someone who, by the way, is better at a lot of things that, like Trix's graphics are amazing. You know what I mean? Like it's so nice to start building a team. And in many ways, like it was such a hard lesson for me to learn. And I think that a lot of the issue too is like people say to me, well, I want to just especially people with side hustles, they tend to just accumulate money
Mm-hmm.
and they're not doing anything with it. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, no, what are you going to do with it? Like what's next? Are we going to go full time? Are we going to do something really cool with the side hustle? Or are we going to hire someone so that you can work or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's really interesting to me how a lot of people kind of get stuck at a certain spot as well. And that's where they
Mm-hmm.
stay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I
Yeah.
see, especially when you said about having a side hustle, they're like creating the business on the side as they have their security job, how they call
Yeah.
it, right? Yeah, I even feel that is a very important asset to build your business to a certain extent, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like when people want to do, when I was apprenticing, I had like, a full-time job as well to sustain myself. And I feel like that builds like the resilience that you need to build a business for sure. Like
Yeah.
there's people who don't have a job and they try to do a business, but they don't have that foundation of like resiliency or wanting to like substitute their work because they're not sustaining fully themselves in a way. So, but to a certain extent, right? When that business is already emerging, you have to take that leap of, you know, I mean, it's scary. Oh my God, it's so
Yeah.
scary.
So
And I,
true.
you know, and it's like just feel the fear and just do it anyway, right?
Yeah,
Because that's like the pivotal point. Like, are you gonna really like jump to put 100% your energy to the business, to your passion and to what you really want to do, or are you gonna do half fast, right? Because
yeah,
you just have to, it's like your energy split in two, you know?
totally. And I always like to ask, like, do you need this? Is this like you? Because for
Mm-hmm.
me, you know, I've thought, you know, when it got really rough a few times of like stopping or getting a full-time job. And every time I'm like, but I'm a coach. Like, what else am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, my life is gonna it's gonna get worse because I know what it's like to live in my power and live in my sovereignty, and then I'm going backwards. No way. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, but the question is like, do you actually need this? You know, do you really, really need this? Like, is this really what you want?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think people don't ask themselves that question enough. You know, is this,
Mm-hmm.
am I, can I live without this, you know? And how much, like, even like, how much, what am I willing to sacrifice for this?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's like the grass is always greener on the other side. Like, you know, I have friends who, you know, get their paycheck every 2 weeks, and I usually get a call like, hey, want to go? And I'm like, do I? Can I? Like, it's a whole different question now. It's like, oh, can I go out to eat? Like,
I
do I just get a coffee?
I love when that comes up. It's like such a good, for my personal experience, such a good affirmation that I'm doing
Mhm.
what I love. I get
Yeah.
it so many times. They call me, my friends call me like, "Hey, you want to hang out this weekend? Like, do you want to come Saturday to this place?" And my instinct is like, "No." Like, it's like, do I want to like go out and do this, or do I want to? I was like, man, I have a day off. Finally, I can sit down and draw some things that I want for myself, prepare some stuff. I have a list like that I have to like follow through. And then sometimes they call me like, hey, do you want to do this? And I look that list and I'm like, oh, this brings me more joy than going. It's so weird dynamic. Like only people who are like entrepreneurs that are doing what they love will really understand,
Mm.
that emotion. And that emotion really reaffirms me like I am doing the like what I love. I really am doing what I love, because I rather do that sometimes. And like I even invite them over to my house so I can do these things.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like it's always in balance. It's not that as well, like you
Yeah.
gotta go out as well, but
Yeah.
you know, it's always a good affirmation that, like, if you sometimes you're stuck in that space of like, am I doing the right thing? Do do I love this? Am I willing to like jump to this new like space? Just sit down with that. It's like, have you sat down on the weekends while your friends hang out and you just building yourself? Like,
Yeah.
if you do, like, I mean, if it's going higher than a party, you know,
Yeah.
that you're in the right track.
Yeah, I mean, that's why for me, like, quarantine was such an incredible time. Like, of course, all the, you know, negative side to it, but at the same time, like, I had all this time to all of a
Hmm.
sudden build my business, you know? It was really extraordinary for me.
Hmm.
And in many ways, like, I think that it taught me, like, I don't need to always be always say yes to things. I don't always need to overexert myself. I don't always need to go out and drink to feel content. I don't always need to do all these things to feel a certain way. And, it's like, I think it's really beautiful to just be able to start spending some time on your own
Hmm.
and to just get connected to yourself.
Hmm.
What do I want? Like my friend Beth Manning, who talks a lot about connecting with the soul, she's like, I was like, what do I actually want? Like, what do I want to do? Like,
Hmm.
I sometimes I forget to just ask myself. I'm like, well, this person wants me to do this, but this one, it's like, what do I really want? And as an entrepreneur, the more you can ask yourself that question, I think the more, you know, you'll be on your right path. It may not be
Hmm.
easy. So when things are hard for you, like when it's like, oh my God, I have no clients,
Yeah.
um, what do you tell yourself?
I mean, my scenarios mostly now are the scare of like, am I answering them on time kind of thing,
Mm.
right? Because I experienced ever since pandemic. I feel pandemic was great for me.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was I it was my best year all
Yeah.
around, except those 2 months that we were in lockdown. But I see it the other aspect as well. Like I met so many other tattoo artists from other
Mm.
areas, and we have this connection now. So I feel like that was my best year. But um, definitely, like it comes in the back of my mind, like you know, when I don't feel that perfect box of stuff, and like what keeps me going is just the thought that I'm still human as well, and that time, those times when I did not have clients, right? Like
Yeah,
for
like a
answering,
few years ago when you
yeah.
like, financially you were like, "Oh my God, am I going to be able to make rent?" Like
Oh yeah.
what? Yeah. What was going through your head?
I always, you know, I always found it solutions, and I share this with so many people. And I believe so much in the law of attraction, like
Mhm.
and just putting the action in whatever way possible to put that energy out there. I truly believe it. I experience it. It is so real when you put the direction and your thought to it. They come. Like I have this story, like, and I share with other people who are starting, like, if you're sitting down and you're not and you're complaining that you don't have something, then what are you doing to bring that, right? And I remember that I did not have any money. I bought these like small business cards, white. They were like $4.99 on Amazon for 100 of them. And I went to Michael's and I got some. I still have them. It's like a rabbit stamp. It was cost like $3, like a little stamp. And I literally stamped every card and I wrote each one with my Instagram and 15% off or whatever and the address. And I put on every car, every store in Jersey City. That's where I was.
Mhm.
That's where I started. They look wonky, what I wanted to represent myself like that, but I was starting. What am I going to do? Right? Like, this
Totally.
is all I had. And I still have pictures of it. It's like I put it almost for like a week straight, all these cards. I ran out of them. I bought more. And then this guy came in. We're all working. I was still apprenticing. And this guy came in and he's like, oh, for rabbit? Because I didn't put my name, wouldn't fit. And they all look at me. And I'm like, yeah? He's like, hi, I just saw this drawing on your Instagram and I'm interested in getting it. He didn't ask me anything else. He just like
Yeah.
felt saw it, like, and I'm like, how you found me when I scheduled the appointment? And he's like, oh, I got this on my windshield. I mean, and I made $300 for that week. So it's like, I mean, I'll never forget that. Nobody in my shop will ever forget that because it was even a medicine for me and for them because they were like, holy cow, like it actually worked,
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about law and attraction or anything. I was
Yeah.
like young kid. But later on, when, through the process of entrepreneur and business and stuff, I got this wind of all this information and I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what happened, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
You need that inspired action. It's so important.
yeah,
And in many ways, that's what's going to set the people apart who not only make it but start, you
yeah,
know. I have so I love it when I have someone walk in with my business coaching and they're like, "Okay, I've done this. What's next?"
yeah,
Because that tells me they have started. They have taken that inspired action. This is not just a dream. This is happening. This is reality now. And that's
hmm,
how we bridge that dream to reality gap,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So I really, really love that. I think that's such an important point. And, it doesn't have to be perfect, like you were saying, just to reiterate that as well. Like perfectionism we've I had to kill my perfectionist ways if I was gonna like become an entrepreneur and do social media. Like I make mistakes on my social all the time. Like I don't know
yeah,
if you guys have read, but it's like there's so many spelling mistakes. But it's just like I have to just keep going. I can't be like, oh, I had one spelling mistake and then like my whole business is over.
yeah. And
Yeah.
even for us, right? Like seeing the Instagram look pretty, right? That's
Yeah.
one another thing that I personally felt it myself. I mean, there was this wave recently, like the Instagram needed to look good and
Yeah.
nice and precise and blah 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 and look cohesive because people love that. What that was like the whole marketing
Yeah.
101 on podcasts and people
Yeah.
professionals and the thing. And I'm like, okay, I hired someone, of course, because you have to
Right.
delegate these things. And like, she helped me and so on. Beautiful. Like, I still use a lot of her stuff. Um, but I started noticing that I was slowing down my posts because I was overly consumed with how it would look.
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, this has been like a couple of months. It's been a year only. It has worked before all crazy. I mean, not crazy, but you know what I mean. Like it's like
Yeah.
whatever people are just want to see what they want to see, and like it just takes so much effort. I think you did hire someone. I might hire someone because it's like it's so consuming, and if it's consuming you and you're not having fun, hire someone to do it. Hire
Yes, that's a
someone to
good.
do it. You know,
Yeah. Yes.
like it's the best learning experience I ever had. It's like I was trying to build a website. Now I'm gonna hire someone to build a website because it's like it's not my line of genius. Like it's
Yeah,
not my line of genius. And
totally. Totally. I completely agree with you. It's so important to like, and also, is it getting you your ROI? Like, is it worth your time? Like, that's a really important question. Like, emails for me, newsletters, they often don't have, I do an email, but
yeah.
I don't like go crazy about it because it just doesn't have the same um impact, I think, as
Hmm.
as social as Instagram. So I spend more time on Instagram. And I think that that's really important too, is like what's actually working. And when
Hmm.
I say that though, make sure you give it enough time. And sometimes things take time to work. And then also make sure you actually have numbers. Like a lot
Hmm.
of people be like, this isn't working. And I'll be like, oh, like you haven't seen any number increase? And they'll be like, well, I mean, I've gone from, 500 followers to 800 followers in 2 weeks. But, and you're like, wait, what? Like you have to put things in perspective as well, which is why I think also having like a community of entrepreneurs or a coach or something can be really helpful to make sure you're not like completely overlooking something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really important to have. Sometimes you really need perspective on things, and you're only going to get that from an outside source.
Yeah. And
So,
like, you are the best example, like in general, like when you don't know what to do in your business when it comes to social media, look up look for yourself and what are
yeah,
you watching?
Yeah.
Like, like so many times, I'm still in that drama triangle when it comes to, I admit it, I can't, I have
Next week we got to
recorded
talk
them.
about the drama
Yeah,
triangle.
I have recorded myself many times. I
Yeah.
see it, I edit them, and I'm like, this is fucking stupid, and I'm not posting it. And it
Yeah.
has to do with all these reels of like, you're in the video doing pointing out and
Yeah.
dancing and whatever. I have recorded multiple times. I'm still like settling this triangle, and I'm about to post it, and I'm like, I'm not posting this crap. And like, but then what am I watching?
Hmm.
I'm watching the the thing and saving the songs. I was like, oh, I can
Yeah.
do this. This sounds genius. I share with my other peers, but I don't do it, right? My coworker, my business partner, started doing them, and in a month she got like 300,000 followers on TikTok.
Wow.
And she
Yeah.
now has like 30K followers on Instagram by
Yeah.
that, like, but it's like a lot of this conversation, right? Of like, oh, what, you know, and my industry is a very, very strong force industry. And like, it gets all that rep. It's like, why are you pointing out? We're men here to draw and whatever. And I'm stuck in that loop. I completely am. And
Hmm.
but I see the results, and I'm like, what
Yeah.
am I doing? Like, these people are not
Yeah.
gonna pay my bills. Like, you know, and I can see how that can happen for so many other scenarios, right?
Hmm. Totally.
So when you're in question, like, is it actually going to work? Check what you're looking.
Hmm.
Like, I notice all the time, like when I see reels of those things, on when
Hmm.
I'm sharing stuff, I'm like, what am I sharing? So this is actually working. So use that as an inspiration to create your own
Totally.
things. So
Totally.
that's how marketing people do.
Yeah. They're just regurgitating that.
They
Yeah.
just stuck in Instagram, seeing and putting notes, and then charging you $100 for their knowledge of searching for something that's free
Hmm.
online, you
Hmm.
know?
Totally. Totally.
So
Well, Paloma, I'm going to end us here, but thank you so much for joining me today. It's so nice to get your perspective because you're in a field that's so creative and wonderful, and I think that it's really cool to hear someone living their passion and
hmm
successfully, that's really cool. But also I love how like down to earth you are.
yeah,
So,
and I'm
yeah,
still,
people agree with me.
and I'm still in that. Like, it's a good conversation of like, even when your business is thriving,
Hmm.
you got to check in with yourself still, because
Yeah.
I am stuck in certain stuff still, right? Where
Mhm.
I can be in a better state. So
Yeah, totally.
this goes for
Totally.
everyone, even starting or not starting. So
Yeah. So if anyone wants to get in touch with you, where can they find you?
you guys, y'all can follow me at Enter the Rabbit Hole. That's my Instagram. My business, my tattoo shop is at American Dream Tattoo NJ.
Awesome.
Hmm.
And thank you again for being here. And everyone, I have an open spot in August for my business and life coaching. So if you're interested, send me a DM. Yeah, I'm
Good
excited. I'm like,
investment right there. If you
thank
wanna,
you.
you wanna get your entrepreneurship to the next level in your business.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, thank you so much.
hmm
All right. I'll see you next week, everyone.
bye.
Bye.